Welcome to Lango News Channel, the channel that brings to you a wide range of programs that touch your life. Today we are introducing yet a new program which is called a community icon, and we have decided this time to start with a veteran journalist. This is Hudson Apunyu, who is currently working with the Vision Group. He's going to share with us his experience in the field of journalism. He has so many things to share with us, inspirational and also encouraging. Stay tuned as I welcome Hudson Apunyu. You are welcome to Lango News Channel, Mr. Hudson Apunyu. Briefly, can you tell us about yourself?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewer. I'm called Hudson Apunyu. As the moderator has said, I'm now 59 years old. I've been a journalist for the last 29 years now. And before that, I was doing other things. I was in the army. And when I retired, I did a course of journalism. After my graduation, I started working with the Crusader newspaper. The Crusader is now defunct. I was their correspondent in Gulu. And when the Crusader died, I started working with Daily Monitor. Meanwhile, in between, I would also work for television stations. I worked for WBS. I also worked for NBS while I was with the Daily Monitor. Then I shifted, I don't know if it's about 5 years ago, I shifted to Vision Group, where I contribute to One Luo TV, New Vision newspaper, and other platforms under Vision Group. And I'm still moving on.
Hudson, what inspired you to join this field of journalism?
I'm one person whose rights were violated 2 times. First of all, while I was in the army, I was arrested and detained on allegation of treason. I was detained without trial for 4 years. And when I was released, I came back home. During my work as a journalist, I trampled on some people's feet. I was also framed with a case of defilement in 2001. You know, defilement was that time very harsh. I was detained. Then they took me to court. Court found that I was innocent. I was released in 2004. I resumed my work. And briefly, I can say what inspired me to become a journalist is really to fight for the rights of the people, as I'm even still doing now. When in my work, when I hear that somebody's rights is being violated, even if I were following other stories, I would first turn to that case of rights violation and follow it to its conclusion before I now turn to do other things. So briefly, I want to fight for the rights of others, just as well as mine anyway. That's why I was inspired, because I saw that very many people's rights were being violated, and there was no way they could shout and their voices be heard.
Actually, one would say you joined the work of journalism for the love of humanity.
Exactly, that is it.
Now, what do you love about your work? What do you love about journalism?
This work is very interesting, though challenging. If I'm investigating my story and it is run, however little money I'm getting, if I know that I've exposed something within society that was hidden, I feel so excited. There are very many cases that I've written and action taken, positive actions taken. So this makes me very excited, makes me very happy. And sometimes, in following those cases, I use my own money and nobody refunds my money. I use my own money to follow those cases. The little money I get from my story contributions, because I'm a freelance, though I'm working in Vision Group, I'm a freelance. They pay me for the stories I write. So the little money I get from there, I come and do it in following up some stories.
What are some of the experiences you have got in this work of journalism? Especially this time you start with the I would say the nasty experiences.
As I've told you, I was detained maliciously for 4 years and only saved by the High Court. It was Justice Ruhu Piaweri who had my case and I was found innocent. Briefly, I was following a case of defilement by some priest, by some Catholic priest. When they arrested this priest, they brought him to Lira police station. Instead of entering his name in the lockup, in the station diary, and then subsequently the lockup register, these people took this priest and hid him in Ngeta. They wrote some other fictitious name of Lockup B. He was baptized Lockup B. So I followed this case very seriously, writing everything that was happening. In fact, they tried their best to cover up this story. But I was also on their heels and uncovering what they were doing. And this case resulted in the suspension of the OCCID of that place, of that time. But the case was taken to court and then it was also dismissed due to lack of witnesses. Because these people compromised all the witnesses, including a sister to the victim. So that is the nasty part. When during the course of my work, because now the police were seeing me as really an enemy, I was framed with defilement myself. And then I was held for 4 years. 4 years.
Really?
On allegation of defilement. But thank God I came out alive and I've continued with my work.
So you mean
that thing did not break my spirit. That allegation did not break my spirit. I've continued to work for the people. And I think there are a number of people who love my work, though also there are others who don't love me because of what I do. Yes, please.
I know you are somebody who is very bold when in the field, and actually I would say you're brave and fearless.
When I'm in the field and I know I'm right, in anything I know I'm right, you will never bulldoze me around with it. Because I've seen it all. I've seen enough, and I don't think I have time to fear anything. I know people are also fighting me, but when I'm right, even if they fight, they will go nowhere. Yeah, and I think I would also call on journalists, though there is a saying that no news is worth your life, but let's not be discouraged and leave everything that no news is worth your life, because our society will go nowhere. Let's be brave, let's really be professional and do our work as required.
as a lesson to a number of journalists who are outside there. Oh, I see you are 50, 59. You said 59, yes? Yeah, 59. You are still healthy. How have you been managing your health amidst the work and the challenges you face in this field of journalism?
I take care of myself. I eat healthy food. I do some exercise as well, and I don't allow anything to stress me beyond. The type of food I eat, I mostly like eating greens because naturally I don't eat meat. Any for any red meat I don't eat, but with pork I also eat. Though once in a while I don't like it so much. So I tried my best to take care of myself. When there is something wrong with myself, I make sure I get the right medical attention. But in fact, God is helping me. I don't always fall very sick, except last week I had some bout of malaria and I treated it very well. That was, I think, the worst, as long as I can remember. It put me down for about 3 days, but now I'm very healthy and active and moving on. So, you young people, I would advise you not to be reckless with your life, because in fact, we see that there are very many people who are coming to our profession. Some come to our profession as a last resort, not out of love for the profession.
Now, talk about the morals. You are a person who is a role model to a number of young journalists. Uh, uh, how have you been managing the lifestyle? You know, people in the media, they get a lot of criticism from the public about their lifestyle, because there are some elements really whose life are not.
I
uh,
was almost coming there,
mm,
almost answering that question before you ask it.
mm,
What I was saying is there's very many young people who are coming into our profession when they are not ready for it. I'm saying some people come as a last resort because they don't have any other thing to do. In fact, if you look around, although some who come turn out to be good journalists also. We had people who were hawkers, selling these small things, angire. They are now journalists. Some are now doing very well. Some are now doing very well. Now, some of those people who come and join the profession before getting any education in journalism tend to really make people think we are all like that, because they don't have the ethics, they don't know anything. When they go to cover a story, what they want is money. They should be given money. That spoils our reputation, because as a journalist, we are supposed to go there and cover the story without being paid. Because if somebody pays you, what are you going to write? You are going to be biased towards that person who has given you money. So you have to be there, be very careful when you are working. Respect yourself. And the way some of us behave when they get this little money, I've heard people are saying that, journalists, both male and female, they are very rough, they're immoral, they love. For men, they're saying they're always having a number of women. For the girls, they're worse. They have a number of men. Everywhere they have a number of men. So I would advise, let us change that lifestyle, be morally upright, and that's how you can also live for long. Because if you keep on changing men, keep on changing women, you may end up getting problems. You may end up getting problems. You can catch diseases and end up dying very early. And even in the process of going after very many women, you may not even save money. You may not save. You'll produce with these women, And at the end, you become an irresponsible parent. You find that even your child is among the walk in town because you are an irresponsible parent. So it's better to be very careful. Be ethically upright, be morally upright, and you'll make a very good journalist. Don't yearn for what you cannot get. Move slowly, you'll reach there. I think that's what I can say.
Yeah, talking about the issue of wealth and integrity, there are terms that are common to journalists. There is a term called bribe and there is a term called facilitation. What is the difference between bribe and facilitation?
Sometimes when you go to cover a story, you might find that the organizers, especially these workshops and what have you, organizers can give even journalists paper to write their names, and then they say this is facilitation. But for a bribe, you may go to cover a case like maybe somebody has encroached wetland, and that person may give you money and say, please don't write about it. Don't write about this. I think that is a bribe, and which is really unacceptable in our profession.
So facilitation is actually not a bribe.
Facilitation is not a bribe, and in some cases it's not accepted in journalism. Yeah, in most cases it's not accepted in journalism. You are not supposed to receive any money from your news source. Yes, please.
And suppose you are already given the facilitation. How are you supposed to deal with the person who has given you the facilitation?
Nobody force you to accept that facilitation, because if you go and sign in their paper, now they will even call you to go and get the facilitation. But for you, you can, if you are really upright, you can move away and say, I'm okay. My station has facilitated me. I'm fine.
You yourself, have you been denying it?
I can't. In some cases, I take what I don't demand for it, but I take what everybody is getting. I don't ask for it.
Okay.
So I'm appealing to employers, the media managers, media house managers. They should also try to cater for these journalists to avoid the temptation of going to accept bribes and facilitation from news organizers. If you pay your journalists well, they will be ethically upright and morally upright, and they will not accept these freebies from news sources. Imagine you have sent your news reporter to go and investigate some scandal of a very big magnitude, and then for him he goes there, he's given like 1 million to kill the story. Do you think he will come and write about the story? But if this one is a person you are paying very well, at least he will consider his reputation, because building a name is very, very difficult. Like for me, I've built my name in the last 30 years of being a journalist. I don't want any small thing to spoil my reputation. And it is worse with these radio stations in Lango. You find somebody is being paid 150,000. Some radio stations are paying 250. Imagine. And yet they are getting a lot of adverts. They are being paid in millions, and they don't consider the welfare of their workers. This is very bad, and very, very bad, really. Radio managers, please consider the welfare of the journalists so that they also perform to expectation.
Okay. All right. How have you been? This work of journalism is very demanding. It takes much of your time. Sometimes you go in the morning and you return back very late in the evening. How have you been managing your family?
I think that is a very big problem. It's a burden even to me. I almost don't have enough time for my family, because even weekends You find even that weekend and even Sunday is the time you have that story you want it to appear on Monday, you have to come and work on it. For me, sometimes I stay in my office up to 11 p.m. or even midnight, and then I go back home. And in the morning, I wake up very early and come to work. But there are some people, most of the people who are paid salary, I think there is no excuse for not getting time for your family, because they are, at least in a week you are given time off. And you should stay with your family, should really stay with your family. It's very important. Yes, please.
Now that you always go back late, how have you been doing it?
I get time with them, especially in the morning, because it's me who take my children to school. And when they were still young, it's me who has always been taking them to school. I started with a bicycle. I had two boys. I would take them to school on my bicycle. Then when they grow up, I also know that it is hectic. I try my level best to let them be in the boarding school. And even like that, now the last girl who is now in P4 at St. Kizito, I sent her to boarding school last term. This term. Otherwise, I was even the one who would wake up very early, around 6, bathe, take her to school. And then maybe some border would now collect her from school. But I've seen that it is hectic, and I'm also becoming of age. I've decided to at least let her be in school. She also get enough time to read. Yes, so these days I can sleep. Being a freelance, I can sleep. If I go back late, I can sleep even up to 9 a.m. and then I bathe and come to do my things. Yes.
Okay. What are some of the lessons you have learned in this work of journalism that you would speak about?
Some of the lessons I've learned, there are some detractors. There are people who will talk ill about you, but just be professional. Do your work professionally, and you will override their criticism. Be courageous, and really be ethical in what you are doing, so that nobody will get any excuse of blaming you. For me, they have tried, and now they know if it is Apunyu, you cannot bribe him. They know very well, and they can't try me. I live on my little savings, and the photo studio I have also helps a bit. And that is where I have my office, and I'm comfortable, and I continue to do my work. So, young journalists who are coming, greed may kill you. If you know you are coming and you are getting rich straight away, then don't join journalism. This is where you have to go slow. You plan for your life. The little money you get, you save. For example, if you get some money, you can even start rearing chicken, ducks, and what have you. And chicken now is very lucrative business. Don't also forget to plant trees. For me, I don't like wood trees. For me, I like fruit trees, because I know, like fruit trees, like we have the type of mangoes in Kamdini, where people like very much this. They call it jobi jobi in our place here. That mangoes, if you plant, after 5 years you'll start harvesting. So now you tell me, a young journalist, you plant about 50 stems. You plant your mapendis, jackfruit. You plant mangoes. You plant oranges. All those. Even if you are getting very little money, but after 5 years you can start getting a lot of money, because I don't believe in growing soya, sunflower, and what have you. It's a waste of time. You grow your soya. First of all, you start by tilting the garden. You retilt again. You buy the seeds. You plant. You weed. You weed for the second time. You harvest. You threstle. And all those is a waste of money. But if I plant my garden in this, and in the end, this soya you may even get on the 500,000. You imagine the labor you have put in that garden. You are also supposed to spray, but with mangoes or jackfruit, when you plant in 1 acre, you may even get 10 million in a season, in a year. So I would encourage my colleagues who are still young, be creative. Be creative, and you will avoid these unethical issues. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Hudson, how do you want your old age to be? You talk about the retirement when you are now retired.
Okay. If I retire, really, in fact, everybody wants to live comfortably after retirement. But that depends on how you plan for your future. Just as I'm even telling you, I think if you plant those fruits, like for me, even if now I'm old, I'm very old, I think I'll be having my grandchildren around me. Or even workers, I send them, please, you harvest those things, take for me. I'll be getting money to buy my sugar at home. I'll be getting money to buy my fruits, to get treatment, at least to make me live comfortably. I know I'm not very rich, but if I plan properly, I think I'll live comfortably, because what I want is comfort, and I don't want those. I don't yearn for very much wealth, because I don't want to behave immorally or unethically to acquire wealth like many people are doing. And what I know is I'm moving slowly, and I'll get what I want. I'm not in a rush, because I don't want to crush myself. If you hurry so much, you may end up crushing yourself, which is not good. Young people like you should know, don't hurry, move slowly, you'll get there.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about religion. What do you know about God?
Sometimes I get puzzled. We know that religion came to Uganda. This white man's religion came to Uganda in the 1880s or 1890s. But as the people of Lango, we had our religion. We used to have a God which we respect, Jojo Kamalo. And our culture was very, very rich. I know among the 10 commandments, I think almost all was respected by our culture, the culture of the Lango people. And I strongly believe in Lango cultural religion. Not the one of Warajok, no. I don't believe in witchcraft and what have you. And I also am one person, I'm a Christian anyway, and I go to church. I love God, I know there is one God. Even the one brought by the whites, they tell us there is one God. So I know there is one God. Our ancestors used to worship one God. They would even go and pray for rain and it rains. You even go and pray for sickness and one gets ill. And even these days, I see that people pray and one gets ill. Yeah. So I am fine. I can say I'm a Christian, but with much love for my traditional religion.
A follower of Jesus.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So now, do you have any advice to the public?
What I'm advising the public is that they should not see journalists as their enemies. Like especially in Lira here, we have been covering leaders being arrested for land. Like for me now, it has created me enmity. And yet they invite me, please come and cover it. We have. It is news. When somebody, big businessman is arrested, it is news. So these people, the community we serve, should not see us as enemies. We are for them. We want our people to live in a society where everybody is treated equally. You go and dig in the wetland, and when we write the story, you say, you have been taking out my photo, you are doing what?
You are witch hunting.
And then they start witch hunting you. No,
they don't blame the police
they
who
don't
have
blame the
arrested
police who have arrested them. Instead, they blame us. I'm also calling on the community. Please don't always keep quiet with your problems. Let's expose these corrupt people and shame them. They will learn. And in case there is anything happening in your society, inform us, the journalists. We come and investigate. We expose them. We are here to fight for your rights. Remember, even these civil servants, the police, the army, everybody, even parliament, they are there for you. Don't consider yourself hopeless. No, you are the most important person deep down there in the village. And that's why all these policemen, all this army, all these LCs are there because of you.
And even journalists are there because of them.
Exactly. We are there because of them. We are there to serve them. Yes. But in this place, sometimes you find people know what is happening. You go and try to interview somebody, you will shy away. For me, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. Now, you want who to talk when you have problems. And yet when they speak out, these issues can be handled and can be resolved.
Concealing the evil acts.
Yeah. Which is not very good. So that is my call to my people of Lango and everywhere. Let's be open, let's be bold, and really, if we are like that, our society will be a good place to live in. Rather than keeping quiet, let somebody torment you and then you just keep quiet. No, at least for me, Apunyu, I'll not keep quiet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hudson Apunyu, for the words of encouragement that you have given to the members of the public and to the fellow journalists who are outside there. We will be bringing to you very many other programs on Lango News Channel. Stay tuned.